Are you sometimes plagued with regret? I get it. We all have those moments we can't stop replaying. A breakup, a missed chance, something we wish we had said or hadn't said. Some regrets knock loudly while others wait quietly, only to surprise you in a quiet moment and stop you from moving on. Like when I was recently driving on a road trip, just thinking about life, and remembered a job I turned down a few years ago. At the time it made sense. Now I'm not so sure. Ever had one of those moments? You're doing something simple, driving, washing dishes, taking a walk, and bam, suddenly it's there. That decision you can't undo. I didn't spiral though. Instead, I remembered something that's helped me a lot. 3 voices I trust: a psychologist, a powerhouse motivator, and my 88-year-old mother. Join me as I share their different but equally relevant views, which had me rethinking regret. Just maybe you'll see yours in a new light too. I'm the Forest Fairy. Welcome to my corner of the woods where I'm rebuilding, revamping, redesigning a magical life and hopefully inspire you to gather your own fairy dust. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a fabulous week. Despite the bright sunshine, it's icy cold as there's snow on the far, far mountains, and a delightful and playful wind is making sure we know. So an unexpected and greedy wave of regret recently tried to get its claws into me as I was driving along, thinking about my life. It strived to upset me and make me feel angry at the decision I'd taken a while ago, and to make me assume my life would have been better if I'd taken the position. But I know better now. Thanks to advice from Mel Robbins, the well-known motivational speaker and author, Dr. Ellen Langer, a Harvard trailblazing psychologist, and of course my mother. None of these 3 denies that regret often occurs, but each has their own take on how to handle it so that we can move on, move forward. We all have something we regret: missed chances, words we said or words that were left unsaid, decisions that haunt us, actions we didn't take. Some are big and some are small, so small they're almost insignificant. I know for sure that I have a few major regrets about decisions that have had an impact on my life. Financial decisions, relationship decisions, property decisions. And yes, hindsight is perfect vision, and in the case of decisions, I also remember that I made them to suit my circumstances at the time, and that my bad moments are part of my life, not my whole life and not my identity. So in the case of regrets, the question that begs to be asked is, what if we misunderstood regret all along? Mel Robbins changed the way I see regret completely, as she says regret does not have to be your roommate. It can be your teacher. It isn't punishment. It's a signal that something mattered. This hit me hard because, to be honest, in the past it had felt as if regret had moved in with me permanently. Those moments echo quietly at the back of your mind, only to pop up to the surface in the still of the night, or when you're doing some deep thinking about your life, or when a memory triggers them. So, since hearing Mel's insight, I could, for example, ask myself, what do I regret saying to my husband? What do I regret not saying? What words said or unsaid do I now know are hurtful to a partner in a marriage? And more importantly, what would I say or not say in my next serious relationship? What is this regret teaching me? One of the small things that I now know is that thank you is just as important to a man as I love you. So, as always, I've linked my cup of tea in the description below. Today I'm drinking masala chai, but this cup is very special. I bought it at the Dedza Potteries in Malawi more than 30 years ago, and surprisingly, they're still going. It's a hippo. This is the front of the hippo, and this is the back of the hippo. And then there's Dr. Ellen Langer's advice. She's a Harvard psychologist who says something a little controversial. In an interview with podcaster Rich Roll, I heard Dr. Ellen say that regret is mindless. But she clarifies her point by explaining this is because we assume that the path we didn't take would have been better. But we can't know that. So our job, she says, is to make the choice we took the right one. Mind-blowing. There were times I looked back and wondered, what if I hadn't declined that job? But the truth is, The story I tell myself about that path is just that, a story. I would probably have been more financially stable. But the right things about my choice is that I've got to spend these last few years with my mom. I live in a gorgeous little village and have a vibrant social life and amazing connections. And of course, I get to be close to the ocean. Although I can feel I'm due for a visit to the beach. And now my mom. She's 88, has lived in several countries, traveled far and wide, is a seasoned teacher and not one to second guess herself. Now we don't always agree. We're from different generations, have different personalities, and have very different beliefs, spiritual and otherwise. But something she said a few years ago landed for me. Once you've made a decision, never look back and never regret. My mom has moved several times during her life, but the last major one was from a town deep in sheep country to the ocean. It was a gamble that paid off in love and quality of life. I have a similar story, packing up my life in a land-bound city and moving to the seaside. There have been doubts and regrets over the years, but I lift my head and I gaze at the mountains and the sea and know that I am not looking back and I'm making the choice right. So there you have it, the 3 insights I've gained over the years regarding regret. So remember, when regret shows up, listen, not to punish yourself, but to learn, because every mistake is a message and every regret is a teacher in disguise. And sometimes you need to laugh at regret and remind it doesn't really know if the other choice would have been better. How do you handle regret, and what have been your major regrets? And do you think you could turn them into lessons? Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I've added the link to Mel's videos and the podcast featuring Dr. Ellen in the description below so that you can listen to the full versions. If you enjoyed this conversation, you may enjoy the one on romanticizing my life, how I'm doing it my way and being authentically me. Wishing you a week filled with no regrets and, of course, sprinklings of fairy dust. Until next time, goodbye